Hey guys, it's your girl Tam Cam, always Tam Cam. And this is a very spontaneous interview. I met this gorgeous man right here, Deric Durden. I said it a little wrong, Deric Durden. And his life is just so fascinating. Now, if you know me, I am fascinated with anyone who's just extremely talented. And this is a talented motivational speaker. He has an unbelievable story, and I've only heard bits and pieces of it. And so I decided to pull out the podcast equipment because I didn't want to wait to hear this story. So we're here at the famous Sonic, not a sponsor of the Tam Cam show. So you want to tell everyone who you are, and then I'll ask you the questions I'm dying to know now.
Well, I'm Deric Durden, a motivational speaker, author, and coach. I'm an individual who loves to educate, inspire, and help people transform their lives from where they are to where they're trying to go. I'm an individual who was once a car salesman. Now I'll just completely focus on just speaking. How can I help the people? How can I connect with them? How can my story of going from where I've been to where I've been able to become, how can I connect with other people who's kind of on the same path, or how the process that I've used to change my life, how can I help them share that process with others and help them change theirs?
So we had made a plan to go to have lunch today, and I did something smart. We both went to a networking event that, which was smart because we both need to continue to network. And they had free goodies there, but now we're eating more goodies. And so I was asking Deric in the van, the Transcam shuttle van, about his journey and like his background, because I did a little due diligence on his life. And Deric was telling, he was saying that he was at a prison with his friend. And then I think I heard a part that said when I was here, and I was like, what? I was like, you've been in prison before? And so you want to elaborate on that and tell everyone about that experience?
Prison was a life-changing event. Before prison, I was a person who was striving to figure out who I was. I was searching for identity. I was searching to be accepted and get approval by individuals who really didn't care much about me. And so searching for that approval, acceptance, had me hanging with the wrong crowd. That wrong crowd, that lifestyle led to me going to prison. And I actually served 17 years in prison. And so during that time, I did a lot of self-introspection. I did a lot of educating myself. I got me a college degree. I went to a lot of different courses, just continuing to better myself, kind of find myself in what fits me. I think that a lot of the youth, a lot of the younger adults are really just searching for who they are. We live in a time where everybody lives on social media and we're watching everybody else highlights reels, and we compare ourselves to other individuals. And so we try to do as much as we can to fit in with that crowd or chase a certain level of notoriety or to be Facebook famous or whatever. But in the process, we never really take the time to figure out who we really are on the inside. And so for me, that's what prison was for me. It was an opportunity for me to become better, get more acquainted with myself, to find a purpose. And that's where I found motivational speaking, Toastmasters inside of prison. And I became the vice president of education for Toastmasters, learning how to communicate, learning leadership skills, and reading different books from John Maxwell and other well-written writers, and just taking the education and just utilizing it to become a better person.
So I asked you on our way here, was there any regrets or anything? I think you just answered that question, and you also said, what did you tell me? Like, if you had your choice, of course.
Are there any regrets? The only regret I would have is like the effects that decision made on other people. But as far as my life, how it's turning out, there are no regrets, because along this journey, it has unfolded in such a way that it has become a blessing. I hate that other people were hurt, other people, family members had to go through certain things, and my family had to go through it too. But at the end of the day, we know and understand that things happen for a reason.
Yeah.
And the person who I became, not that I was ever a bad person. I didn't go to prison because necessarily I committed a crime. I went to prison because I was running from my calling. And so through that process, prison redirected me back to that. And I was able to find that, and now I'm living a life that I truly desire and love. I'm living a life that I truly desire and love.
So, because of your almost 2 decades in prison, what is the prison system like? Do you think that it is a place to be rehabilitated, or do you think there's a lot of, changes that needs to be made in the system?
When it comes to prison reform, there are a lot of things that can be changed. However, rehabilitation is up to the person.
The individual.
It doesn't matter where you place somebody. No, it's neither good nor bad, but what they make of it. Because you have individuals like me, Keezer and Brewster, Wallow 267, Andre Norman, David West. All these people did time in prison, but now they're multimillionaires. They're successful. They have books. They're doing a lot of great things. So prison within itself doesn't make you a good person or a bad person. How you choose to utilize your time is what's most important. If you invest in yourself, then of course you're going to get better. But if you take that time to play dominoes, all you do is watch sports, play basketball, all the things like gambling, then you're going to continue to do that. You're not going to uplift, or you're not going to change your mentality doing the same thing that you always done. And so to answer your question, prison was a journey of self-development, self-introspection, and just a transformation of mostly my mentality.
Right.
And so with that was my journey as far as prison.
Now, I also asked you in the van, because you said you've been, next week will be 3 years, right? You said. And so I was asking you, did you feel detached from the world? Like, does the world still feel different from you? And your answer was?
Like
I know, it's so good, so good.
Yeah, like I told you, when I stepped out of prison, I stepped right into a car and drove off. So after 17 years, it was like I never left. One, because I had a lot of family support.
Yeah.
My sisters, my
Is that
mom.
important being in prison?
It's monumental.
Yeah.
For somebody who doesn't have that outside support, you basically have to do what they do in prison in order to survive. But for me, having that outside support, I was able to keep myself separate from the things that they do in prison in order to survive. So I could really focus on my education. I could really focus on self-development because I didn't have to strive. I didn't have to hustle inside of prison to do things that people in prison do in order to survive. So it's very, very important. If that answers your question.
Yeah, it does answer my question. So, I mean, I know even being on the outside world, having family or even friends who are like family and being an entrepreneur like we are, that means the world. So just having the support in any kind of capacity, not minimizing your experience.
For sure.
But the way you make prison sound to me personally, just hearing it and knowing someone who really, I probably know people who went to prison, but I can't think of anyone right now. But you are so relaxed about it. You don't have any hard feelings about it. And I love it. Not that that's something to strive for, like just in case I go to prison, it's going to be okay. I know that wasn't the case.
For sure.
You just explained to me that it's an individual choice whether you go left or right, and you decide to go right because you wanted more for yourself and you had the family support. So now that you're out, what is the plan for the next 2 years?
To really focus on speaking, and kind of to answer your question, I didn't fully answer you. So you were talking about my transition back into society. Everybody that I talked to about my transition, they said it was like I never left. I know a lot of people have like PTSD, similar to how the military.
Yeah.
When you go to prison, you see people get stabbed, you see people get killed, you see people die for overdoses inside prison.
Right.
That's a regular thing.
Yeah.
And but for me, My transition was really smooth. It was like I never left. I had support. I came home to clothes. I came home to shoes. I came home to somewhere to stay when a lot of people don't have it. And it's a real struggle having to try to get your identification, because without your ID, without your social security card, you can't get a job.
Right.
And so the blessing in it was I didn't have a lot of those struggles. So it might sound like my transition was easy compared to somebody else. And if you hear my story and you see somebody else, you're like, well, why he didn't get a job? Why he didn't do that? Because there's a lot of different things that play in it. And mental health is one of the main things.
Oh, yeah.
You got to understand, people get institutionalized. In prison, you do the same thing basically every day. You eat at a certain time, you wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, you eat breakfast.
Breakfast is at 3 a.m.?
You wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, you eat breakfast.
Uh-huh.
Then lunch is around 11. Dinner is around 5. That's every day.
What time do you go to bed every day?
Just whatever you choose.
Oh, really? You have a choice to go to bed when you want?
To go to bed, to go to sleep, yes. But sometimes, depending on what unit you're on, you're supposed to be inside your cubicle or cell at 10:30 Monday through Friday and maybe 11, 12 on weekends.
Okay.
So, just basically, I'm saying they get institutionalized because they do the shower is the same time every day. Eating is the same time every day. Recreation is the same time every day. But when you transition out to society, everything goes at its own rate.
Right.
There's no set standard or no set timing for everything that goes on in a day.
Okay.
And that's hard for a person who's been in prison for 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 years to transition from being told what to eat,
right,
what time to shower, what time to do this.
Oh, yeah.
And now you got to turn around and start making your own decisions.
Yep.
After being institutionalized for so long. And sometimes it's a big hardship for them to transition back into society.
I bet, yeah. So what's next for you in your career? Okay. And congratulations on choosing the career of communication. Like, I'm a big firm believer, if you use your mouthpiece, then it's definitely going to be the path to your riches.
For sure.
Yeah.
I think one of the people that I really look up to is Myron Golden. There's 4 levels of basically implementing or utilizing your skills in order to make money.
Mm-hmm.
The first one is implementation, then it's management, then the third one is communication.
Right.
And so at that level, he says that's the only way that you can start getting to $1 million.
Okay.
And so I know and understand that your communication determines the level of things you're able to accomplish.
Right.
The better you can communicate, the better you have relationships. The better you communicate, the more money you can make. The better you can communicate, the better life you can build for yourself. And so for me, I understand that communication is so vital and important. And so that's definitely like one of the things that I look to the most and just really building. That's something that it's a continual process of getting better at. And as far as myself, like I told you, for 2026, if I don't make $250,000, then I feel like I failed. We're coming into 2026 and I've been out in society 3 years in the next couple of days. I've kind of got my ground up under me. I became the #1 car salesman at a dealership.
Awesome.
I was the first person to ever be hired at TXU Energy on the corporate side with a criminal background.
Nice.
And so now, after that, 2 years later, I was laid off due to AI. And so that pushed me into my purpose of speaking. Nice. And so I do speaking full time now. I've been a board president of a nonprofit organization. I spoke on stages across America. Been blessed to just really just live a great life. I just came back from Miami last week, going to a conference on business funding. And I'm really living a life that 3 years ago I probably wouldn't have fathomed.
Wow.
And so it's truly a blessing to be where I am and be able to do the things I've been able to do. And so 2026 is the year of scaling.
Yeah.
I pretty much got a foundation, who I am, what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
And so now 2026 is really the time to take it to that next level.
I know that's right. So I mean, you're already taking it to the next level right now because I mean, I've already run into you several times You communicate every time I, text you really fast. And that says a lot about someone, So that's one of the reasons why I felt like, okay, yeah, let's have lunch. Let's get to know each other. Because like I said, I just love very interesting people. Had no idea about your background, before I met you, of course. But I'm just so fascinated. Now tell me this, are you ever sometime afraid that your background of going to prison may affect your career, or are you using it as leverage?
To be honest, that has been the biggest obstacle within myself.
Really?
That has been
so you still worry about people judging you because of that?
That has been my biggest obstacle. Just sometimes thinking that people know that actually don't even know. It's subconscious to the point where I really been able to accomplish a lot, but if I was able to overcome that, I would accomplish 10 times more. And so that's what I'm really working on right now, is the psychological aspect of people judging me about my past.
What are you doing to try to help yourself to work through those thoughts?
Well, I have coaches, I have mentors, but the real work is mental, meditation, prayer, visualization, really just changing the framework of my mind, and just really knowing, understanding that your past doesn't really have to define your future.
Right.
Your past may have defined you to the point where you at, but from this point on, you can create whatever life you truly desire. That's why when I do speak, I teach the 5P principle. 5 P's of thriving through transition. And so the first P is purpose. Understanding your purpose, understanding your why is the foundation.
Okay.
The second is perspective. How you think about things. You can be in any situation. That situation is neither good nor bad, but how you think about it makes it so. Then the third one is performance.
Okay.
Once you have your purpose set, once you got your mind right, now it's time to execute.
Take action.
Yes. And so the third one is performance. Then we go to the fourth one is people. Having the right people in your life.
Networking.
For sure. Make sure you have the right people, because the power of association works negatively, but it also works positively.
Absolutely.
And the last one is prosperity. Once the last four of those, when those first four are alive, then the fifth one is basically the result of having the first one line, for sure.
So this is a question from me, and this is something that I discovered years ago when I heard the famous Earl Nightingale explain this. Do you feel like you're successful?
That's a tough question.
Wow.
It's a good question, but it's a tough question. Because to me, if I was to define successful to me is creating a life that you truly desire and making it a reality. Because success is different for everybody. And so for me, to this point, I am successful, but I'm not as successful as I want to be. I don't compare myself to other people, because people come to me all the time and say, you know what, you've accomplished so much compared to such and such. Or people who've been to prison, a lot of people who've been to prison ain't done half as what you're doing. But to me, that's an insult, because I'm not, comparing myself to other people. I'm comparing myself to my potential. And if I was to reach my full potential, I think I would be a whole lot further off. But at the same time, I have to be graceful with myself. I have to have mercy with myself, because I'm still human. But at the same time, I still have to have that drive to execute at a higher level and to really reach the potential that I really desire to reach.
Absolutely. All right. Well, where can people find you? Where can they connect with you? And what's the message you want to put out into the world? But before you answer that, and I'll repeat it, once again, but I also want to say this: you are a success, because the way Earl Nightingale kind of frames it. Do you know who Earl Nightingale is? Okay, of course, yeah, of course.
Jim Rohn.
Duh. Of course, you know who it is. You're a speaker. Sorry, I kicked you. The way he framed it is, from the moment you make a decision to do something, that's when you become successful. So as soon as you start planning it in your mind, you're a success.
Right.
So if you think of it that way, now to you, if you feel like there's different levels of success, that's good. But in my eyes, you are already a success. And I hope that you take that with you and not try to reach the success and know that the success is already on you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because people from the outside in, they're looking at you through a different lens, you know? So I just wish you nothing but the best of luck. I'm so glad we had this first meeting. We will have another one. And tell everyone where they can find you.
On Facebook is Deric, Deric, C Durden, Durden. Instagram is also Deric C Durden. On TikTok is Deric D90, DRICDN90. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn is my name. I'm on YouTube. I have my own website, DericDurdenLLC.com. And I also want to say thank you for this opportunity to speak. I want to also just shout out to her in TCS and her carrier service, where she's transporting people from the airport to all across to football games, basketball games. What she does is bridging the gap from where people are to where they're trying to go. And it's kind of synonymous to what I do. And so I definitely want to, if you need any type of transportation, from the hospital, from anywhere, man, she is the person that you want to reach out to. So definitely want to shout out to you and everything that you do.
Thank you, Deric. Guys, once again, it's your girl Tam Cam with the soon-to-be multi-famous Deric Durden, guys. Make sure you stay and follow this young man, because I have a feeling that when I see him again, he's going to be already in that six-figure bracket.
For sure.
And I'm going to be so proud to be able to call him my friend. And I hope that we will be friends for years to come. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time on Always Tam Cam. Awesome.